long day. It's quick prep, quick turnaround.
What do you know about Eastern?
Well, that zone is legit. I mean, they didn't just play it against Michigan. They played it against Oakland. They've been holding teams in the mid 30s. That's one of the best in the country. They've been holding three-point shooting teams in the 27s. That's one of the best in the country. So I mean, it's a legit zone. It's not a one-time thing. And Murph learned well from his mentor, but I think he's added some things. They're a lot more athletic up front. They're not as big as like a Syracuse zone, but they're way more athletic, and they just fly around like a bunch of bees, man. They're everywhere, and we're gonna have to take care of the ball, and we put in a few new wrinkles into our stuff, and hopefully look good today. We'll see how it looks.
Do you maybe have the ideal team to face the zone in terms of the movement?
Well, you do. The movement would be as big a key as the shooting, because if you just rely on your shooting, then you're in trouble. If we don't get the ball inside, get it moving, inside-out passes, I don't think we'll get anywhere. And then we got to start killing the offensive board, something we haven't done as well with this team. Here's a team that's flying around on the perimeter. We got to get inside and get our nose bloodied a little bit and get some offensive rebounds.
But they defended so well out of that against Michigan.
They did.
Boards, right?
Yeah, it was weird though. I mean, they attacked it with four. Everything was on the perimeter, so there's nobody inside. And I think we're going to make some adjustments in that and see what happens. But they did play it well against Michigan, or Michigan just didn't shoot it as well. Excuse me, against them.
The number of zones you guys have faced so far, does that vary a little bit more?
Yeah, we have faced more than normal, but it's not the same kind of zone at all. I mean, that zone they play is it's just more scattered. It's not your traditional stand there, put your hands up. Most time people play zone because they got lazy guys that can't. Not all the time. I mean, like Louisville doesn't, but a lot of teams do. They play it as an aggressive, get turnovers and things like that.
See from Javon today. You guys prepared for that today in practice. Did you think your preparation went well?
I did. I thought we put in a couple new wrinkles. We seemed to get some good shots. The ball was moving pretty good. We went against 6 guys for half the time, which is hard when you're playing zone offense. It's a little easier when you're doing a press breaker. But I wanted our guys to understand that every time they turn somewhere, there's going to be somebody there. So I thought in that respect, we did a hell of a job. They got a little frustrated early because they couldn't do anything. But then I think later on, and then we moved it to 5, and it seemed better.
What'd you see from Javon today, his first full day?
I mean, he did okay. You know what? I told DJ and Trice, I said he reminded me of Johnny. The game seems so fast for him that a couple times he's trying to do things before instead of, the game's a lot faster for him. Number one, he went from high school to college and he hasn't really played. And number two, he's been out in an injury. So, but he can do some things in the middle of that thing. He can drive it. He can drive it. He has a very good offensive rebounder. I think he could help us in that respect. How much Wednesday? Probably not a lot, but we are going to take another look at him tomorrow and see if we can get him a few more reps.
What about Brent getting that cast off? Is that going to help him?
I think it's going to help him a lot. I really do. I think, now that it's over, I mean, we tried to push and pull that kid, but if you try playing what he did, I mean, the first 4 weeks he couldn't even dribble. And I'm telling him to penetrate, and he couldn't even dribble with his left hand. And then after that, he couldn't catch. And then, he still fumbles balls. He fumbled a lot of balls. Then when it was real small, I mean, it's still, your hands are valuable when you're an athlete. And especially like football or basketball, it's not hockey. And so I think he's just going to be more comfortable, able to catch things better, dribble better. And maybe most important, pass better. He throws soft passes. He still threw some today, really soft passes. He's got to get rid of that. But he's done a heck of a job because we've minimized what that injury really was. But for a guard, it wasn't Morris Peterson. For a true guard to play with that, guy did an incredible job.
Just having these guys back with Alvin, but you kind of have to reevaluate the rotation in the next 2
Oh,
weeks.
yeah. I mean, I don't have to reevaluate. I have to manufacture it. We haven't had one. And, I see some of the reasons that I wanted to start Elvin and not Bryn. It had nothing to do with who's better or who. It's when I sub, if I sub Tum and Elvin and I'm bringing out 2 shooters, compared to if I've always got at least 2 shooters in there and sometimes 3. So those kind of decisions I'm going to have to make with my staff, depending on what goes on. But those are some of the difficult things that still lie ahead for us.
When you get deeper into finding ways to get Marvin on the court, if you've got to play Brandon more, you talked about that a little bit, playing guys in a little bit different positions. How much are you?
Yeah, we're looking, especially in a zone offense. We do not feel as good with Marvin in the middle. So I might put Sal in there, put Marvin on the wing. I might even play BJ and Marvin together as a 3 and a 4, or even a 4 and a 5, depending on different lineups. So now I'm starting to get more versatility. Marvin's still got he's playing at a, freshman pace, where he just doesn't accelerate and explode. Like, he's got rockets for legs and he acts like they're anvils, so he's got to do a better job of that. If I had those legs, I'd be living up on those beams up there, so hopefully we'll get better at that, and he'll get more comfortable too. It's hard when you just come out. I think we learned a little something in football yesterday.
You mentioned yesterday Jim Boylan when he's in here over the summer talking about ball movement. Did that significantly help?
Well, I think it definitely did, because I think if you look at what they did last year, they were a joy to basketball. I mean, my wife enjoyed it. Everybody enjoyed watching the way they moved the ball, and if you didn't know nothing about it, I mean, it was just bad choice of words, but pretty to see, and it intrigued me enough. And so I talked to him a little bit about what they do, and I went and talked to a couple NBA guys that I know about, how we can use Brandon more, like we did Day-Day, and Day-Day right now is just killing it, and happy and proud of him too.
Yeah, they're the most fun team to watch in basketball.
Yeah, unselfish, they're better defensively. He either scores 20 or he sets picks so other guys get 20, or he makes passes so other guys get 20. Versatile kid, boy.
Have you been doing the accordion for 20 years now? Did you do that your first year?
I can't remember if I did, but I practiced from 7 to 7:30 this morning, so I'm raring to go. I just don't get to play enough anymore, so it's getting worse. But that and Midnight Madness, the game makes fools of us all, so it's going to make another fool of me.
What's worse, you're playing or they're singing?
I hope they're singing, because their singing can drown out my playing, where my playing really can't drown out their singing. So I hope they're god-awful. And then that maybe, I'm going to have the group sing too, the people that are there, because I know they'll be bad. And so then really drown me out tonight.
Talk about Eastern Zone, but Tally's guy who can get in the lane. They got some
Yeah, you got a couple
on the
guys
other
that can
side,
shoot. They're big at times. They're out rebounding a lot of people, which is odd when you're in a zone sometimes. Like I said, this is not a make-believe team. This is not a one time they played good against Michigan. Michigan didn't play good. I thought I watched them before they played them. I told some of my Michigan friends that, do I have any? Yeah, probably. But I told them that, it's going to be a tough game. And you can be guaranteed that our guys are getting Big Ten type prep time on this game, because, as I said to you guys last night, it is the wishbone of basketball. It's something you don't see. And even though we've played other zones, you don't see them like this. This is just a different animal, and it's going to take a little more concentration. So we'll use tonight, we'll use tomorrow a couple times as far as film, and then we got till, midnight Wednesday? Is that when we play?
Well, it has to be exciting, though, to go up against, I guess, a zone or a defense that you don't face that often.
Well, it is, and what's happening this year, there are more people playing zone. So it'll just be another kind of zone, like, let's just say that we get lucky and get in the tournament and we run into a Louisville again. This is more similar to that. Last time we did that, it was a joke. We didn't play very well. So anytime you can get something in the non-conference that could help you throughout the year, even though it's a pain at the time, it's a benefit at the end. So I think this is going to be good for us. I'm hoping I'm feeling that way Wednesday night.
Do you think Eastern could be an NCAA tournament type team this year?
Oh, I definitely do. Because I think in that conference, that zone's going to give a lot of people problems. But you never know, too, if people find ways to break it. You know, it's like, again, football things where quarterback at 49ers is really good in one way, and then all of a sudden they figure out how to play him, and then, you know, I don't know what'll happen. But I like their team. I think they got guards. I think they got some bigs. He's a good coach, very well coached. I think this is a team that has a great chance to win that league and play in the NCAA tournament.